You are listening to Small Business Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives small business owners the straight talk on productivity, time management, business systems, leading your teams, strategic decision-making, and mindset. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the productivity specialist.
Today is episode 352. Everyone's backend is a mess. If you're a small business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. Today, we're going to be diving into how and why comparing your messy back end to others' perceived perfect front end is not serving you and what to do about it. Before we get into that, though, I want to make sure that you have taken my next level business owner quiz. In 3 short minutes, you can take a quiz and find out what's most holding you back from taking your business to the next level. Then you will receive a curated playlist from the podcast with specific strategies, methods, insights to overcome those challenges and take your business to the next level. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/quiz. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/quiz. And now let's get to the straight talk. Have you ever watched a duck swimming on a lake? They look so calm and peaceful, like they don't have a care in the world. Dive underneath the surface, though, and you'll see their feet moving around like crazy, paddling incredibly fast under the water against weeds and other lake matter in order to get where they need to go. Forward-facing might seem like a calm and peaceful duck floating across the surface, too. Running your business smoothly and being in total control, that's what you let your clients see, at least. But they likely have no idea that just like the duck, below the surface, you're kicking like crazy, moving behind the scenes of your business, and swimming through what sometimes feels like chaos. You know your front end and your back end intimately because you live it. You live it every day. When you look at other business owners and their successful businesses, though, perhaps you only view them from the surface and think they have it all together because you don't get to see what is happening below the surface and how messy or clean their back end is. You just assume it's way cleaner and less messy than yours. That gross assumption is common. And it could be making you suffer from compare and despair, and you don't even know it. Compare and despair is a phrase that describes the negative impact of constantly comparing yourself to others, other small business owners, leading to feeling of inadequacy and unhappy. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But I am going to break down why compare and despair mindset can be harmful and sabotage your success. First, unrealistic expectations. Social media and other platforms often present a curated, idealized version of people's lives and business success. Comparing your everyday reality to these highlight reels can create unrealistic expectations and make you feel like you're falling short. 2, neglecting your own progress. Focusing on others' achievements can distract you from your own accomplishments and minimize your progress. You might overlook your own strengths, the skills that you've worked hard to develop, and the steps that you've taken towards your business goals, sometimes against all odds. 3, low self-esteem. Constant comparison can erode your self-esteem and make you feel like you're not good enough to lead a team and run a business. You might start doubting your abilities and worth. 4, jealousy and resentment. Comparing yourself to other small business owners can breed feelings of jealousy and resentment, thus harming your potential to network and partner with other business owners, as well as harm your overall well-being. Just think about the videos you've watched of social media influencers on TikTok or Instagram. They're often filmed in large, stately homes that look very modern, very rich, very clean. Perhaps you haven't seen the videos of the recent trend that sheds light on the behind the scenes of those video shoots. Recently, influencers from dancers to home chefs have started panning their camera angles backwards to show you how their back end is full of clutter and messy. Why? Because they are real people living real lives. In an effort to show off a beautiful, clean background on their videos so that you could focus on their content distraction-free and be impressed by it, they've shoved all their dishes, water bottles, clothes, shoes, books, and other clutter behind the camera. The same is true for most small business owners because they are real people living real lives and running real businesses. They shove their mess to their back end so that they can put on their best face forward and so their clients can be impressed with their professionalism and how they've got it all together. We all know that, to some extent, and yet still, the tendency to compare and despair because you know exactly what your back end looks like and feels like, but not what their back end looks and feels like. You're making assumptions and telling yourself stories about how organized the other business owners' back ends are and how they've got it all together when you say things to yourself like, "My schedule is overwhelming and overflowing. I pretty much wing it every day. I'm reactive to everything that comes at me. I'm constantly running from putting one fire out to the next. I don't have checklists, processes, SOPs to properly delegate, train, and hold accountable my team members. My office is a mess. I can't even find where I've saved documents. I am inconsistent in taking action in the business." Knowing how your back end looks and feels because you live it every day, but making assumptions about how other business owners' back ends inevitably make you feel a certain way about yourself. Perhaps like a hot mess or a disappointment or a failure or an imposter. We all do it, but it doesn't make it right. It's not healthy to compare ourselves to others, especially when we don't have the full picture. I'm going to repeat that again, especially when we don't have the full picture. And it sure doesn't benefit us or our businesses. And not only are you comparing your back end to someone else's polished front end, but you also might be comparing where you are in your journey today to where someone else is in their journey today, despite the fact that they might have been on their entrepreneurial journey for many more years. They might have inherited a business from a family member, so systems and processes were already in place. They might have been born with a silver spoon in their mouth and had every financial resource available to them. They might have several degrees in business management, might have had the same business coach for many years who walked them through every challenge. They might have had to overcome unspeakable hardships in their life that forced them into a do whatever it takes to succeed, get right back up, and keep fighting mentality. Honestly, the list goes on and on. We have no idea what someone else's entire journey is and how they got to where they're at now. But what I know for sure is that your journey is not the same. And so it is not fair to compare yourself to somebody else's journey and, more specifically, only the part of the journey you can see. Pretty much every business owner has a messy back end that clients don't see. You are not alone. Every business owner also has a backstory and a leg of their entrepreneurial journey that you are not privy to. So let's talk about why your back end and pretty much every other business owner's back end at times might be messy. 1, you have limited resources. Small businesses typically have fewer employees and less money to invest in fancy systems and processes. This can lead to things like disorganization, disorganized paperwork, makeshift workspaces, and less than ideal customer service experiences at times. 2, you're wearing multiple hats. Many small business owners have to handle everything from accounting and marketing to client servicing and operations to taking out the trash. This can make it difficult to keep everything perfectly organized and can lead to some chaos. 3, you face multiple unexpected challenges. Small businesses are more vulnerable to sudden changes and unexpected challenges. A sick employee, broken piece of equipment, a sudden drop in sales can quickly throw things into disarray. 4, focus needs to be on the front line. Small business owners often prioritize the client experience and making sure things look polished on the outside. Due to limited time and energy, this can mean sacrificing some organization and efficiency behind the scenes. That's not necessarily a bad thing. While organizing your desk is important, it doesn't keep the faucet on. It doesn't bring in new clients, it doesn't make more sales, and it doesn't pay the bills. It's important to remember that your messy back end could be a sign of your resourcefulness and determination, and honestly, priority. You're doing your best to make things work with limited resources and a small team, while often wearing multiple hats. You don't need to feel proud of your behind-the-scenes mess, but you don't need to feel ashamed of it either. If you're investing your time into your priorities, the actions that move your business forward. So here's what to do about your messy back end and why it deserves your attention. Give yourself some necessary grace. Take comfort in the reality that no one's back end is pristine, nor does it need to be. Acknowledge that you've focused on building a viable business that has impressive offerings or products, clients, revenue, and hopefully some healthy profits. Building a business is messy, but it doesn't have to stay that way forever. While many business owners make the mistake of normalizing the mess and chaos and never circle back to create efficiency, systems, and organization, so the business can grow and you can be less stressed. You don't have to normalize it. In fact, what you can do is recognize that your back end is messier than you want it to be and not shame yourself, not blame yourself. Don't compare yourself to others, but instead decide that you want to prioritize cleaning up your back end. For each of you, that will look differently. For some, it will literally be cleaning up your physical space, like your office, your desk, or your car. And for others, it will be cleaning up your processes, schedule, papers, digital files, team culture, task list, project management system, mindset, financials, and/or getting additional or new support in the business. Don't aim for perfection. It doesn't exist. Just aim to consistently tidy up your back end, one project at a time, instead of attempting to clean up every single area of your business at one time. Because, let's be honest, who has time for that? We are real people living real lives and running real businesses. So where are you at on this journey? Are you ready to start cleaning up your back end? If so, start with one project at a time. Plan the time on your schedule to show up and work on your business instead of in your business. For some, that may be 1 hour a week. For others, you may be able to carve out several hours or plan a day a month or a day a week to dive deep into projects to clean up your back end. Start wherever you are. I do want to say that if you are on this journey and you do want to clean up your back end, if you want help cleaning up your back end without judgment or shame, then we should talk. I work with my coaching clients both privately and in my group coaching program, Leverage Lab, to help them clean up their back ends so they can grow their businesses, be more profitable, less stressed, and truly enjoy being a business owner. Together with my clients, who are often what I call redlining, meaning they have no time to work on their businesses, I coach them and teach them on how to reclaim time in their days and weeks so that they can reinvest their time working on the business. Then we systematically work through one area or project at a time to clean up their back end. To learn more about coaching and being supported with cleaning up your back end, you can head on over to amberdelagarza.com and book a discovery call today. I have loved you listening to this episode of the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. And I hope this conversation around everyone's back end is a mess was encouraging to you, that it shed light on that you are not alone, and that there is a path to cleaning up your back end should you feel the need and want to. No change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. What can you do today? What can you do this week? Start where you're at. Oftentimes, people feel overwhelmed with where to start. Meaning, am I going to make the wrong decision? Where should I start? The answer is, it doesn't actually matter. Start somewhere. Because each time that you start, no matter where you start in the business, you create an asset into the business. You're building systems. You're clearing your desk so you can focus better, longer. You're updating your task management system so that your team can communicate and run more effectively. These are all benefits to the business. So my encouraging words are, start where you're at and just pick somewhere to start. Again, just as a reminder, if you want help cleaning up your back end, you want coaching, support, training, accountability, then head on over to amberdelagarza.com and schedule a discovery call today. If you are new here, I want to take a moment and just say thank you. I'm so glad that you tuned in today, and I hope that you subscribe so you do not miss another episode. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this episode of the Small Business Straight Talk. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.